Hello everyone, welcome back to Trans-Cending Cinema. I hope that everyone's staying safe during this very difficult time. I'd like to express my gratitude though to those that are staying home to help flatten the curve, as well as to our essential workers that are doing their best and putting themselves at risk to help us get through this. If we keep doing what we're doing now, I'm sure we'll overcome this soon. Whether that means it ends in the next couple months or maybe not until next year, I am certain we'll get through this. With that being said, on with the video. Since we're stuck at home, today I thought I'd recommend a few films that you can stream from the comfort of your own living room. I view these movies in the highest regard and I'm really excited to share my opinion on them. We'll kick off this list with a film that I feel really needs no introduction because it was this year's Best Picture winner, Parasite by joon-ho. Parasite was a very unique viewing experience for me. Joon-ho managed to create a story that was both engaging and at times relatable. As a result, you have character work that's just a screenwriter's dream. You know that what these characters are doing is wrong, but at the same time, you can't help but feel happy that things are finally going their way. This is a film that rides the fine line of morality incredibly well, making for some of the most human characters you'll ever come across because they are flawed but likable. And when things really take a turn for the bizarre, you can't help but feel worried about what's going to happen to these characters you've come to love. You may notice that I'm keeping things vague, but it's entirely intentional because I really do feel like you need to watch this movie as blind as possible. The less you know going in, the more I feel like you'll love it as much as I did. If you're interested in checking out this well-deserved Best Picture winner, it's streaming right now on Hulu. Next up is a film that I feel deserved a lot more award recognition than it received, The Florida Project, which is directed by Sean Baker. This is a coming-of-age film about a young girl named Mooney living in a hotel on the outskirts of Disney World enjoying her summer vacation. While she's enjoying her time off, though, she's blissfully unaware of the harshness of reality that's happening around her until things start to seep into her life. Just a fair warning that there may be some light spoilers, so click here to skip ahead. I honestly wasn't prepared for where this film was going to take me, but the emotions that were on display here were just stunning. The Florida Project handles the fall from innocence in such a way that feels fresh and unique. The fall is something that you know is coming, but you just don't want to happen. You want these characters to remain innocent. It all ends up culminating to a brilliant closer that I feel is one of the best endings I've seen in quite a long time. Not since The Graduate have I encountered something that's made me think, what now? What really helped to boost this great script was the performances. Brooklyn Prince's performance as Mooney felt like she was a real kid. That may sound kind of silly because she actually is a kid, but what I mean is that she doesn't feel like she was scripted or anything. She felt natural and genuine. I also really enjoyed Willem Dafoe's performance as Bob the manager. He gave a performance that really made you feel like he was strict but kind-hearted. He feels annoyed by Mooney and her friends, but at the same time he tries to protect them and even goes along with their games at times. He also knows when to put his foot down, but also tries to do his best to make sure that everybody in his community is happy and wants the best for them. To me, Bob was the most interesting character in the film, and Dafoe does a great job bringing him to life. Overall, this is a well-realized human drama that I feel everybody needs to see. If you'd like to check it out, it's currently streaming on Netflix. For my final recommendation, we're going to keep riding the Willem Dafoe train with The Lighthouse by Robert Eggers. This horror film follows a lighthouse keeper and his assistant as they maintain a lighthouse on an island. Their shift only lasts for a short amount of time, but when their transportation doesn't arrive, things start to get a little bit spooky as the claustrophobia and isolation begin to set in. The first thing I want to point out about this film is its use of cinematography. The entire film is shot in a 1:19:1 aspect ratio, meaning that it's going to be a square. For those who may wonder what that has to do with anything, the small, tiny screen allows for the dread to set in. By having your vision limited, you feel like you're trapped with these people as madness starts to build up. One of my favorite moments of this film uses the aspect ratio to its perfect advantage. When Robert Pattinson's character first arrives in his sleeping quarters, you can feel the tightness of the environment as his head bumps the top of the screen. This small detail is absolutely perfect because it allows you to realize just how claustrophobic you're going to feel as the film progresses. Certain other character choices are also included to add to the uneasiness of the situation. I go into more detail, but it's kind of, gross. To kind of explain what I mean, just be thankful you can't smell movies. Still, these character choices are excellent because you're not only watching two men succumb to madness, you can feel it too. You've probably noticed I haven't talked about the plot aside from the little synopsis I gave at the beginning. That's because a lot of this film is very abstract and relies on its atmosphere to deliver its scares and narrative. If you're familiar with Eggers' previous film, The Witch, you'll know how surreal he can be. Just like The Witch, The Lighthouse focuses on setting the scene, placing you in the scenario, and surrounding you with historically accurate dialogue. A lot of the story comes from subtle details and understanding what the characters are going through emotionally over expository elements. In all honesty, I would argue that this film is more inaccessible to audiences than The Witch because it's more surreal and more reliant on you understanding the nonverbal cues that the characters give. If you pay attention to these details, though, you'll find The Lighthouse to be an incredibly invigorating horror film that has a lot to offer. It's well shot, uses its limits to its advantage, and really creepy. The Lighthouse recently started streaming on Amazon Prime, and I highly encourage you all to check it out. And those are my big 3 recommendations for you all. Have you seen any of them? And if so, let me know what you thought about them in the comments. If you have any streaming recommendations for me, just let me know and I'll be happy to check them out. Also, I'm sure you've noticed that one of the images here is a little bit different than the others. That's because my friend Katie Ledford, who's also the artist for this channel, has started modifying the stills that you see whenever I make my reviews. She recently told me that she's still working on modifying the others too, so I'll slowly be integrating them as she sends them. If you like the art seen here and want to commission her for some of your own projects, I'll leave a link to her Tumblr down in the description below. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, I'll see you all soon.